guys, it's Rose.
Welcome back to the channel. A few weeks ago, I made a speed build of my island entrance because I thought that I had quite a small entrance. It's about 6 spaces diagonally away from my plaza, and a lot of you guys did find it helpful, but some of you guys had a lot to say about the video. So I quickly realized that a lot of people have even tinier island entrances that they are having a hard time designing, and for that reason I have some teeny tiny entrance ideas for you today. If you look at my resident services on my map on my island, it's in a really weird and awkward diagonal position, and it made me think about restarting my island a whole bunch of times. And originally I was trying to get a bridge to fit into it, and it was just honestly very frustrating trying to get the path to go to the plaza and fit a bridge and a waterfall feature in that small of a space. So what really helped me think about the space differently is thinking about where the paths go. This really helped me to have an entrance that I really love walking into every day. So for example, if your island entrance is right in front of your airport with a very small amount of space, could you create a path that leads you to where there's more space and add stairs or a waterfall feature? Or just have a very small path that leads you to more of a grand entrance where you have more room to build what you want? And you could even use trees or terraforming to block off your plaza so you can't even see it and it's not accessible from the airport. You could also use stairs to direct visitors to where you have more space. If you don't have a ton of space right in front of your plaza and airport, you could use stairs to direct visitors up and then down back to your plaza. For my next tip, I have built a fake plaza. It is, I believe, 10 by 12, and a lot of you guys said that your airport is 5 spaces away from your plaza. So I am going to show you some different options that I would do if I had an island like that and I didn't want to start over my island just because of the space between the airport and the plaza. One tip I would say would be to leave at least 1 space between your path and your terraforming. I just think that's going to really make it feel bigger than it is. I feel like if you have path crammed right next to terraforming, it might make the space feel even smaller. If you have 5 spaces to your resident services, you can easily fit a 3 by 3 cliff and round out the corners. And then you can also add some bushes on the ground and some trees on the top for some depth. I think if you have a small space, the key is really kind of almost hiding your plaza so that you can't really tell what's back there until you get there. And adding trees kind of hides it and really separates the plaza from the airport. You could also do a little waterfall feature, so I showed you 2 options, but I'll also show you what it would look like with trees on both sides. As you can see, it just adds a lot of depth and you won't be able to see the plaza until you walk right by it. I can already feel you guys saying, but mine isn't centered. Well, don't worry, symmetry is not necessary for making it work with a small space. When I looked online, I saw a lot of entrance maps had like a slight left turn. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just a little bit off center from the plaza. So I would keep the entrance to the plaza in the middle, so I just kept the fences and bushes there, but then I would just use pathing to direct it to the airport, and you just need to adjust the terraforming from the first example I showed you. I would just, again, stick with the rule of leaving 1 space between your path and your terraforming, so that would just take you scooting it over a little bit. To add some height to the other side and make it a little bit more balanced, I just added a tall tree to the top cliff and to the front of the plaza, and I think it balances it out nicely again. Just because something isn't symmetrical doesn't mean it's not beautiful. To me, it even looks a little bit more natural having a windy path like that. And you have room to make a really cute little sitting area as well. So you can place a bench in front of a tree and maybe a park clock or some street lamps. Now I'm just showing you what this would look like if you're using in-game paths and you don't like using custom design paths. You could just, round off the corners to make a cute little squiggly path just as well. And now I have taken down a bunch of the stuff from the first couple of examples I showed you, and I'm going to be showing you how you could still have water features in your entrance. Yes, you can still have water features in a small entrance. As long as you have 5 spaces before your airport reaches your plaza, you only need a 3x3 cliff to round off the corners and to make a waterfall. So you can't have multiple levels, but you can still have waterfalls on both sides. So I would probably do something like this if I wanted a waterfall in my entrance and I had a very small entrance. I'm not sure if you could fit a bridge here, but you do only need 1 piece of floor to be able to hop across water, so you could also do a little moat with waterfalls on both sides by doing something like this. And then I would probably just build the 2 cliffs out and add trees near where the waterfalls were so that the plaza was even more hidden. So I think this looks really nice as well if you wanted to do waterfalls in your small entrance. The next example I'm going to show you is using stairs. I know in the beginning of the video I mentioned using stairs to take a visitor on a path away from where the plaza is. This still is 5 spaces away from the plaza to the airport, so you could just build up a little cliff and dig out room for stairs. Stairs are only, I think, 2x3 wide, but 2 wide would not be too big to fit even in a really small entrance, so you could use a cliff to take people somewhere else where you could do something more grand. Like, for example, I have this staircase on my island that leads you to a rock garden. So stairs could be a good way to take people somewhere else if you don't have the space to build what you want right in front of your plaza. In my next example, I am using trees and hedges to kind of hide the plaza a little bit so that you can't see it right away from the airport. But if your airport is super close to the plaza, I think it would be a really cute idea to have like a little sitting area, kind of like a little rest stop, and then you can just build a path to connect. This is also another good idea if your island entrance is not symmetrical to where your resident services is. You could make paths on the side of the plaza and really make the other connecting area anywhere else that you wanted. There's 2 little paths down here, and you could move that really anywhere to connect it to the airport, and it would still look really nice, I think. So I'm just going to fill in this small spot with some bushes and flowers, but you could make this bigger and put a fountain here if you wanted to. And then I also think that fencing off the very left and right sides of this path make it look really nice and enclosed. So this is a great idea if you don't want to do any terraforming right in front of your plaza, or you like being able to see your plaza, you'd still be able to see it a little bit. My next tips are from my own island, and I actually realized that my resident services is exactly 5 spaces away from my beach. So I had a really hard time deciding what to put in this tiny strip that I had in front of my plaza, but for some of you guys, you could imagine this is where your airport would be, but you can see I could fit a ton of stuff into this small area. So you could layer trees, an archway, and you could just kind of connect the path from your airport to your plaza that way as well. It doesn't have to be perfectly down the center for it to work. That's what I like so much about the path that I'm using, is that you can really make it go anywhere you want and it still looks good. And then I just wanted to show you my island entrance. It is not symmetrical, but I still think it looks really nice and natural. So just showing you that you don't have to have a perfectly symmetrical island for it to look nice. And lastly, I wanted to take you guys on some Dream Island tours. This island does a great job of using stairs to lead you somewhere else, or even just using a tiny strip of path to take you somewhere else that has more room. I know all of this isn't in their entrance, but you could do something like this in your island entrance. This island also has a very small entrance, and they managed to fit a bridge in their entrance, and it looks really great. So they just have a waterfall near their plaza, and it's leading them down a river. They actually used their entrance being asymmetrical to their plaza as a great thing here, because they made a bridge that takes you from one to the other, and it looks amazing. I don't know how they managed to fit a bridge here, but I thought this one looked really great. This island, you can see their plaza right behind the trees peeking through, but they did such a good job of kind of hiding their plaza so you couldn't see it as much, and I just think this looks really great if you really want some separation from your plaza to your airport, but it's very close. They use trees and a lot of decorations to help give a really separated look to their plaza from their airport. Okay, you guys, I really hoped one of these tips helped you guys that have very small island entrances. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video did help you, please consider giving the video a like. It really does a lot to help support the channel. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, you guys!